Good afternoon and welcome to this episode of Ed Talks. We're going to begin with an anecdote. Don't get sick for 2 weeks at the beginning of summer break. Don't do it. Wouldn't recommend. Not good. That is the reason that I have not posted anything for the last 3 weeks or so. We had the last week of school, which was super busy, and I got sick that last week, and then I stayed sick until now, although I am getting better. So today I'm going to do a top 10 because top 5 just really wouldn't cover what I want to cover. This is top 10 favorite Star Trek characters that are not Kirk, Spock, or McCoy, because those guys are sort of like just on a different level. I know that maybe some people would not agree with not lumping them in with everyone else, but to me, they are sort of always going to be my main favorites. The interactions between those three are just, that's what makes the original series. That's part of what makes the original series so good. So I'm going to just go over my favorite characters that are not Kirk, Spock, or McCoy. And you might notice a theme as I go through these. You might notice some continuity here. I do have a particular bias towards one Star Trek show. See if you can guess which one it is. Here we go. At number 10, we have Gul Dukat. Now, Gul Dukat is a baddie. He's a villain. He is a Cardassian jerk. But he's also probably one of the best developed villains in any of the shows that I can think of. There's even a point in the later seasons of DS9 where they make him sympathetic. You actually want to like the dude. You think, he's just got a bad reputation. And it turns out, no, he's just a really horrible, horrible person. But he is, I think, probably my favorite villain in any of the shows. Even more so than Khan, because Khan, poor guy, he only gets, one episode in one movie, whereas Gul Dukat gets an entire series to shine. So Gul Dukat is my number 10. Number 9 is Garrick, just a simple tailor, who happens to have been one of the chief agents of the Obsidian Order, the Cardassians' intelligence service. He has a lot of fun in DS9. Coincidentally, number 8 is Julian Bashir, whom Garrick has a lot of fun with in DS9, who he recruits for a lot of his clandestine missions. Julian Bashir is a doctor who is genetically enhanced. He ends up becoming sort of a spy, getting recruited by Section 31, which is one of the coolest organizations in Star Trek DS9. Thank you very much. Number 7 is Jean-Luc Picard. Jean-Luc Picard. Now, I like Patrick Stewart, and that is really the main reason that Picard is on this list, because Picard is a captain. I mean, the Borg arc was cool. I enjoyed that. He had a lot of crappy stuff happen to him. Killed a lot of people at Wolf 359. The main reason I have Picard on this list is because of Patrick Stewart. Patrick Stewart just does an incredible job acting as Jean-Luc Picard. And so that's why he's in this position. Next, at number 6 is Data. Data is on this list because of his endearing quest to understand humanity and maybe even try to become human. And in the process, of course, he becomes more human than some humans and all that stuff. But I really disliked the way he was written off in Nemesis, so that's why he's a little lower down. But he's a great character, and I love Data. Number 5 on my list is Benjamin Sisko, commander of Deep Space Nine. Benjamin Sisko is a great chef. He is the emissary to the prophets, the Bajoran gods, wormhole aliens, excuse me. He is... Oh, and he loves baseball. I mean, what's not to like about this guy? He did cover up the murder of the Romulan ambassador to help get the Romulans into the Dominion War, but nobody's perfect. Next is Miles Edward O'Brien, Chief Engineer aboard Deep Space Nine, also served as the transport officer on Enterprise, but he's really on this list because of DS9. Miles Edward O'Brien never stopped fighting the Cardis. Never. Except when he had to, or felt like it. He served a lifetime sentence in prison, like in his mind, earning all kinds of street cred and PTSD. He lost his teeth to the Cardassians. The man just they try to get him down. They try to bring him down, and he just gets right back up shooting. I love Miles O'Brien. He is the greatest engineer in Starfleet. So shut up, LaForge. Also, Tosk. Miles Edward O'Brien. My top three. Number 3 is Major Kira Nerys of Bajor. So, at the beginning of DS9, I really didn't like Kira. I don't think necessarily we as an audience were supposed to like Kira. She was supposed to be sort of antagonistic and brusque and serve as like a foil to Cisco. But of course, again, spoilers. She's a resistance fighter, Bajoran resistance fighter, or terrorist to the Cardassian occupation forces. Killed a lot of people, even killed innocent people by her own admission. She killed innocent people in service of her goals, of the Bajoran Resistance's goals. And she actually experiences probably the most personal growth of any character in Star Trek that I can think of. Maybe Data has more, I don't know. But as I'm thinking about it, Kira Nerys goes from being this, brash terrorist, ex-terrorist, to being a competent, cool-headed, sympathetic administrator. She's still a fighter, of course, but she becomes a competent command officer, thanks to her experiences in Cisco's training and all these kinds of things. She undergoes some crazy personal things throughout the course of DS9 that we don't have time to go into here, but even though I didn't like her at first, she ended up becoming one of my favorite characters of any Star Trek series, in any Star Trek series. So Kira Nerys, number 3. Number 2 is Quark. You gotta love Quark. That guy is almost single-handed, well, he and the Ferengi, I suppose, are helping to keep capitalism alive. That's one of the other reasons I like DS9, because it has at least a somewhat realistic economy. It's not this pie in the sky, oh, everyone has everything that we need. Which, why do you have wars then? But whatever. So, Quark owns Quark's Bar on DS9. He runs it with his brother Rom at first, until Rom actually gets a job that he likes, engineering. And his nephew, Quark, is always into something, that lovable scamp. And he's constantly coming into conflict with everybody in the service of his own wants. And yet, he has a heart of gold. He has a heart of gold. We see him grow in some surprisingly neat ways, too, throughout the course of the series. So Quark is number 2. And number 1, Odo. That's right. Odo Ital. His name literally means unknown sample. This is a dude who doesn't even know not just who he is, but what he is. All he knows is that he has this innate love of justice and order, which leads him to work with the Cardassians. He's actually a collaborator. He works with the occupying force, the bad guys. But the Bajorans still respect him because they know that he's fair. Then, when he finally does figure out who he is and what he is, turns out his people are the bad guys in a war that kills billions. They have wiped out entire systems in the name of order. Yikes. He also loves Kira, but it takes him a very long time to express those feelings, and that is another amazing story in Odo's plot, in Odo's arc. So, Odo, also, he's a shapeshifter. So, beat that. Odo truly, in my mind, he is my favorite character in all of Star Trek. So there you have it. There are my top 10 favorite Star Trek characters that aren't Kirk, Spock, or McCoy. If you're watching this and you like Star Trek, I've probably made you angry. If you're watching this and you don't like Star Trek, you should watch Star Trek. Some of it's surprisingly good. I can't speak to a lot of the newer stuff, but I know the older stuff, especially DS9. Watch DS9 is the best one. DS9 is amazing. So there you go. So ladies and gentlemen, I am, again, sorry that it has been so long since my last video. I will attempt to make more videos now that I'm feeling somewhat better. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you next time.